What, you have a podcast?
Really?
Computer, show the historical documents.
A federal court ruling today against an important part of the Voting Rights Act, likely setting up another Supreme Court showdown. The appeals court ruled private entities cannot bring lawsuits under Section 2 of the law. Only the U.S. Justice Department has the right to sue.
The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that under the Voting Rights Act, a landmark civil rights law barring racial discrimination in voting, only the U.S. government can sue to challenge ballot access, voting rules, and redistricting.
Today, a panel of 3 federal judges, all appointed by Republicans, issued a decision in a case that was brought by the Arkansas chapter of the NAACP. And these judges in the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals, they ruled that private citizens can't bring these cases anymore. Actually, the only entity that can bring that kind of a case is the United States Attorney General.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Recovery from Politics podcast. I am your host, Kyle Freeman. Today is Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. So as you heard there, the Voting Rights Act is basically dead. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to go ahead and rule in favor of this judge panel that says that only the Attorney General, only the State Justice Department can do anything about anything, because most of these cases that have been brought up for decades now, the precedent has been that anyone can sue to enforce this law. And unfortunately for the racist states like Georgia and Alabama, that means they've lost a lot. You know, private citizens have sued saying this gerrymandering is illegal, you can't do this. And the Supreme Court has always backed their play and said, yes, actually, these are gerrymandered districts, you have to fix them. Now, in the case of Alabama, they're just ignoring the Supreme Court, whatever. This is a way to circumvent that. So right now, all the cases in front of everybody, Alabama, Georgia, all the red states are basically being sued into oblivion by private entities, by private citizens. And they're losing hardcore. The Supreme Court, really, as bad as they are, they haven't found a legal way to get around this. So this is actually a blessing for them. The Eighth Circuit Court, which is the most Republican right-wing court we have, got lucky and had 3 Republican judges go ahead and rule that it's over. The Voting Rights Act, it's over now, because only the Attorney General can file suit. If only the Attorney General can file suit, again, this consolidates more power to the presidency. These people do not want democracy, they want a monarchy. And that's exactly what they're going to get with this. The Supreme Court will probably rule 5-4 at a minimum, but more likely 6-3, because Roberts is not the swing vote here that he sometimes is, like he was with Obamacare. He hates the Voting Rights Act. He is one of those idiots who, I've never witnessed racism, so therefore it doesn't exist. Like, he's one of those idiots, which, okay, whatever. But he really does believe that we're past that. No, we elected the black guy. It's cool now. We're not racist anymore, despite all the evidence to the contrary. So they're going to go ahead. It's probably going to be 6-3. They're going to vote in favor of this decision. It's a no-brainer. Okay, don't even listen to the oral arguments. There's not going to be any leeway here. You might have Kavanaugh just because he's so craven and so desperate to be seen. He's like the Merrick Garland of the court right now, where he wants to be seen as fair because he totally blew up his own fucking hearing in front of the Senate. I could see him like, oh no, we should not go this far. It's cool that private citizens can do this. And he might even go along the lines of, hey guys, this works in southern states, to our favor, but what about states like New York or California? What if they want to gerrymander and then only... Oh, we have another visitor today. Hi, Shy. Oh. Shy again. Hello, Internet. This is Shy. Shy, this is the Internet. Yeah, so we could end up with this being a blue state, red state thing, and it's really going to depend on whoever the president is and whoever his attorney general is. So you have to assume that if Trump wins, his attorney general is just going to ignore all of these cases brought up by private citizens, and he's only going to use it as a weapon against states he doesn't like. And as soon as that happens, as soon as a Democrat gets in and tries to do it as well, because Trump weaponized it, they're automatically going to assume, oh, well, of course the Democrats are doing this. They're weaponizing it too. They're going after it all. So it sucks. It just consolidates more power. Again, more proof conservatives are not interested in egalitarianism. They're not interested in equality at all. They want a hierarchy which they can control. They want a monarch. They want a king. They don't like Congress. They want to be able to go through it all. They want the strong man. You know, this is the default position for most governments that like we have. Isn't that right, Shai? Yeah, this sucks. Cats have rights too. You know, the thing that really pisses me off about this, though, is that the Voting Rights Act is not new. Okay, it's been around longer than Roe v. Wade, and they're just going to undo all of this precedent because the Voting Rights Act has allowed private citizens and private groups to go ahead and sue. That doesn't mean they always win. You know, that's the thing that conservatives are always pissed off about because they're always on the losing end. And it's like, you're losing because you're racist assholes, not because, you know, there's something wrong with the law. But they can't win on the law, so they have to go this route. They have to basically cheat. So, you know, it's gonna suck. They're going to undo all this precedent. The Supreme Court, I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to overturn this and get rid of it. They're probably going to go as far. I mean, with this gone, why not just defang the Attorney General while you're at it? Why not just completely strike down the Voting Rights Act? Declare the whole damn thing unconstitutional and stupid. Just be like, you know, it's written so badly, and if only the Attorney General can do it, what really is the point of this thing? And I could see him just striking the whole damn thing down. Like what is the point, right? So, I mean, that's just something we have to watch out for. It's a foregone conclusion, barring the Democrats growing a spine and packing the court, which they should do, and they still have not, and Biden is fighting him tooth and nail on that because he still believes in norms and rules and traditions, and I'm like, great, man, that's just not gonna work now. But unless the Democrats grow a spine or we have a sudden mass death of everyone over the age of 70 on the Supreme Court, it's just not gonna get fixed anytime soon. It really isn't, and that's a shame. So I hope you liked your rights. The Supreme Court precedent says, yeah, they're about to overturn a lot of it and just say, yeah, those rights you thought you had, yeah, you don't really. So I imagine this will be the second, possibly third time by the time it gets to the court that the Supreme Court will have taken a right away from the people rather than grant it to them.
This is a truth that needs to be told to the American people, no matter what age they are. I think the younger generation is smart. I think they will understand this when we explain it to them. And
so the next thing I wanted to talk about was this Nikki Haley thing. I think it's ridiculous. She actually thinks that banning TikTok is a good idea, it's good for the country, and that teenagers will understand. And here's the thing. First off, this just proves that she does not understand children. She doesn't understand teens. I mean, first off, I mean, I don't have teens yet. My kids are almost there, but they're not there yet. And even I know, you know, even when I explain things to them very simply so that they'll understand, they never agree with it. They always ask questions and are wondering why, what is going on. You know, they don't get it. Oh, yes, that is brother of Shai. His name is Indy because he's adventurous. And, yeah, he's bathing. Okay. So, she thinks banning TikTok's a great idea and that teens will understand. That's the part that really, like, makes me laugh. You know, because she said she wants to ban TikTok or at least make it an American company, that kind of a thing. Personally, this is two things. One, this is the anti-China, you know, propaganda, just like they're out to get us and they're going to screw us over and all this other stuff. And secondly, you know, I'm starting to think it's like they're just jealous that China came up with a product that the United States didn't and that it does well. I mean, let's not lie. TikTok is the largest social media platform on the planet and it's not even close. They have, I mean, what's number two? Like, two so far, I don't even know what it is. Like, nobody cares. So TikTok is here. It's a product that everyone loves, and they're just pissed off because it's not an American thing. And I think that's part of it. It's that whole right-wing American exceptionalism thing, like we do everything better than everyone else. Well, here's an example of no, actually you didn't. Sorry, China came up with this. They're way better at it than you are, and you're really pissed off about it. But again, to go to this idea that banning TikTok is a good idea. Now, if you said, if a politician had the balls to actually just come out and be like, actually, I would ban all social media. First off, props to them for having the courage to actually say that. I would definitely give props to them. And two, that's not the worst idea in the world. Every study ever written about social media says that the damn thing is extremely destructive, and it does more to divide us than it does to unite us. There are isolated incidents where social media is used. For example, Black Lives Matter took advantage of it to organize and to get people involved. But other than that, it's an extremely divisive tool that nobody really likes, Oh, are you ready? I think we're ready to depart. One moment. All right. So if you wanted to ban all social media, I could at least understand that. But ultimately, Nikki Haley and everyone older than me really just doesn't understand that social media is not the problem. The problem's the profit motive behind social media. Social media right now is free, right? And if something's free, that means you are the product. You, the human being. You are selling something to the company that they then package and resell to whoever the hell else. Marketers, even democracies pay for this stuff. The Democrats and the Republicans, I guarantee you both pay into social media companies for that data that they are pulling out of there to be able to target you with special campaign ads or anything else. Just like a company will find out what kind of socks you like and then, extrapolate what kind of shoes go best with them. Or, oh, you like football? God forbid you go on Facebook and say you like a team, because every other ad will be something for that team. It'll be NFL related. I am flooded with Seattle Seahawks stuff all the time. Underwear, socks, hats, pajamas, t-shirts, anything, right? Anything they can slap an NFL logo on, I'm inundated with, because I had the audacity to tell Facebook that I actually like a football team. So in my opinion, the way to fix this is very simple. We need a constitutional amendment, because I don't think there's any other way around it. I think this Supreme Court would strike it down. And unfortunately, if you have a Supreme Court that's going to do that, then the only way around it is the constitutional amendment route. And I think we need an actual right to privacy, not just from the government. Most rights are strictly from the government, right? Your Second Amendment right is the government doesn't have the power to take your guns away. The First Amendment right, the government does not have the power to silence you. Okay, people get this screwed up. Like Musk right now is suing because all these advertisers have left shitter, and he's mad about it because the advertisers don't want to be associated with Nazis. Go figure, right? And he's pissed at that, so he's actually trying to sue to rectify it. And it's like, that's government intervention. If the government actually intercedes on his behalf in that case, that would be government forcing speech. And that's not what the First Amendment does. The First Amendment is strictly a government-to-person relationship. Private companies can do whatever the fuck they want, right? Nobody's forcing you to listen to me right now. The government forcing you to do that would be very wrong and against the First Amendment. But I think we need a constitutional amendment, right to privacy, and it's got to be written in such a way so that it's not just the government, doing that, because the government already does that. We have the Patriot Act, the NSA, CIA. They record all our phone calls. They record these things. They study this data too. But what we need is protection from corporations. I think the fix for this would be a constitutional amendment telling everybody, hey, you know what? The automatic default is that we are opted out Period. I think that's the easiest thing to pass. Now, in my perfect world, I would say, even with consent, I don't think anybody should gather your data, because what do we all do? We scroll to the bottom of the thing. We click I accept just to get into whatever the hell app we want. We all do that. Nobody reads the fine print. And I think most of us, would be confused by it. Like, it's all in lawyer speak. We don't have lawyers on the fly who can go over these things. And there are so many apps with so many things that we need now just to be able to navigate this world, that it's not fair to ask us to, actually read the fine print on all this and hire a lawyer to go over it and make sure we're not selling our soul. What we need is a constitutional amendment saying, yeah, no, you cannot, under any circumstances, even with my consent, gather data on me. That would be my own personal thing. Corporations, government, nah, fuck you, no way. A warrant for the government, at least then there's a modicum, a minimum standard of, a judge has to see this, prosecutors have to put something together and present it to a judge, and then the judge has to sign off on it. I mean, yeah, there are flaws in the warrant system that we have going on now, but that's better than just nothing, which is what these corporations are doing. But Nikki Haley's not going there. This is an anti-China thing. It's possibly a hit to the American exceptionalism thing, just because TikTok is a Chinese company, and surprise, it's doing it way better than any American company. To me, this just proves Nikki Haley is not a serious person. With dangerous ideas. I don't believe, if you're ultra into capitalism, right, which all these stupid ass conservatives claim to be ultra capitalists, they believe in this shit, right? Then they should be like, yeah, TikTok's great. You know what we should do? We should have an American company, and we should promote that. And maybe the American company can be subsidized. That's the government's role in this, right? The government should step in and subsidize it. Maybe the government should build it and then sell it off the way we have in the past with other things. But that's not what she's promoting. She's actually promoting, I fucking hate capitalism because TikTok's kicking my ass and it makes the younger voters hate me, so I want to ban it. Like, it's not capitalist, it's not democratic, it's just, I'm pissed off that TikTok hates me. That's really what it is at the end of the day. And again, it's anti-Chinese propaganda. That's all it is. TikTok's not going to destroy the world. And again, I spoke about this yesterday. Blaming TikTok for the country's ills is the exact same thing we heard in the 90s when school shootings started to become the norm, and everyone was like, it's video games, it's the first person shooters. It's like, no, dude, that, like, we all do it. That doesn't make it the same thing. If your problem is kids are falling for propaganda, your solution is not, I need to stop the propaganda. Your solution is, we need to invest in better education. We need to teach kids how to critically think, how to actually sit down and analyze and realize, oh, this is propaganda. Take it with a grain of salt. Teach our kids to do that in schools. But that's not what she's proposing. That's not what anyone is proposing. I mean, the easiest solution would be that, right? It doesn't infringe on anyone's rights. It doesn't, end capitalism, even though I'm in favor of that, but instead it says we need to invest better in education, and not just a blanket, here's some money, like an actual policy. We want civics. We want critical thinking. We want to boost those things, right? And that will inoculate our young people against this bullshit in the future. If you're really serious about it, like, that's the fix. Doesn't require a constitutional amendment, doesn't require a supermajority anywhere, just a basic majority, pass it, get it going. Done. You're taken care of. Or if you wanted to, there's another proposition I'm not really in favor of, but it at least makes sense. And that is the case that, we don't let children smoke cigarettes. We don't let children drink alcohol because we're like, hey, these things are bad for you, and you need to be older to really understand and grasp what they do to you before you do it. There is an argument to be made that social media should be, 18 years or older. I'm not in favor of that. This is different. I'll evolve on it if something changes, and, me personally, I'm not going to let my kids on this shit anytime soon, but, I'm I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. It's different. Okay, you won't. Well, I won't go there. Anyway, that's basically it. I think this TikTok thing is just it's crazy. I can't believe people are thinking about it, but whatever. Okay, so finally what I want to talk about here is this ridiculous idea that the Democrats have, which kind of mirrors the Republicans in that neither one of these parties has any idea how to talk to the youth, right? Like, the Republicans are actually blaming TikTok, so are the Democrats, but then the Democrats turn around and go, you know what? We need to run on Social Security. And I'm like, why? Why? I get the House, okay? I get the House, I get the Senate. They can do that because they're Congress, and, you want responsible congressmen, and honestly, if you're voting for a congressperson that wants to cut your Social Security, you get what you pay for, right? Like, seriously, you're an idiot. That's your business. You're dumb. Running on it, though, for the presidency is a bit dumb, especially against Trump, okay? Let's be honest, Trump's the guy. Nikki Haley's an idiot. Chris Christie's not going to be it. DeSantis is way too awkward. Like, it's going to be Trump. Period. Trump is not that stupid. Like, he knows. Do not cut Social Security and Medicare because those things are popular, and he is a populist. Cutting Social Security and Medicare would be the death knell for the Republican Party, so they're not going to run on it. Okay, we saw this at Biden's State of the Union, where he totally owned them for all of like 10 seconds, and he got them all to be like, no, that's bullshit, we don't want to do it. And he was like, haha, yeah, okay, well, you guys just all admitted on camera, during the State of the fucking Union that you don't want to do this. Okay, it's done. It's settled. The Social Security is not going to come up anytime soon. Okay? They're not running on it. Republicans are deathly afraid of even talking about it. You know what they are talking about? Abortion. Like, that's the thing that the Republicans are talking about. They're talking about a heartbeat bill, an effective abortion ban at a federal level because they hate that states get to decide and that some states are not deciding the way they'd like. So they want to go federal on that. That's what they want to run on. Like, that's it. So if I were Democrats, I would say, let's run on the counter to them. They want to run on this. They're on camera. That we have video clips. We can create whole ads, just commercials of these idiots saying out loud that they want to ban abortion. Just run that on a loop 24/7. That is the issue. Instead, Democrats are urging Biden to run on Social Security. This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of. Social Security is not on the ballot. Not in 2024. Excuse me. Other than I want to save democracy, the secondary issue is abortion. It is women's rights. It is not Social Security. Social Security is an issue. It is a big deal. And, maybe, but think about it this way. In 2016, Trump came in, he owned the House, he owned the Senate, he couldn't pass shit. The only thing he passed was a tax cut, and that was at the very, very end, practically right before they lost in 2018, and we got AOC and people like her. The Republicans are dysfunctional as fuck. Like, you don't understand. Some Republicans are smart, and they get it. They're like, dude, our bread and butter is the older retired voter. We can't run on this. This is toxic as fuck. And if they try to sell, like they did during the debate, they tried to argue, oh no, the people that are already retired or the people who are about to retire, they're totally safe. We just need to turn to the younger people. And I'm like, okay, there are Republicans who are going to say, you're going to murder our chances of ever winning an election again with an entire generation, possibly 2 generations of people. This is a bad fucking idea. So Social Security is just not going to happen. Even if the Republicans all get it together, it's going to be like them repealing Obamacare. Really, it's not going to happen. They might try to put it up for a vote, and it's going to fail miserably. And even then, Trump is not going to sign that thing because he recognizes it would be a massive betrayal to all of his voters who actually think he's for this shit. He's not going to do it. I think the Democrats, if your House, it's a thing to run on. Like, yes, my opponent, the Republican, wants to get rid of these entitlement programs. I don't. I would like to strengthen them. But other than that, other than a simple talking point that's about that long, there's no reason to make it like a tent pole. Like that, I think it's ridiculous to do that. Like, Democrats want them to run on Social Security. It's like, old people are not your problem. Your problem right now is the youth. The youth of this country are very pissed off. Okay? Your problem is the youth, the white male working class, and now all of a sudden black males. That's where the Democrats are hemorrhaging. The Democrats are hemorrhaging in those demographics. They're also losing Hispanics. Okay? If you want to do something, Social Security ain't it, man. I'm sorry. Those just aren't the issues that people are pissed off about right now. There are other things coming up, and you need to address it seriously. The Social Security cannot be the number one issue on your plate going into 2024, because again, there's nothing to run on. Trump has been very consistent on this one thing since day one, since he came down the golden escalator in 2015. He's been like, no, we're going to leave entitlements alone. People like them. Why the fuck would I cut them? So this is a non-issue. You're not doing Biden any favors. Like, and also this is one of those things that like everybody takes at face value. If you vote for Republican, you're basically voting to end entitlements. If you vote Democrat, you're basically voting to at least keep entitlements, if not make them better. This is a basic difference between the two parties. Running on it, duh. Like, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna persuade. That's my problem. He's not persuading anyone. No one is going to be persuaded by this. They've already got their stake, firmly planted on who they're going to vote for. And Social Security is just not it. Again, it's a non-issue with Trump. Now, maybe if you get a Haley or a Christie or one of the other backbenchers who runs on, I want to end all entitlements and fuck this shit. Well, then you have something to run on. But right now, it's going to be Trump, and Republicans are not that stupid. They're not going to do this. Okay, it's just such a dumb, tone deaf thing. And of course, Hakeem Jeffries is all for it because he's an idiot too. I'm really not impressed at all with his leadership. He's really not doing well for me. I think this is a horrible strategy. There are people who are concerned about Social Security. Social Security does deserve to be talked about, and if anything, you should run on strengthening it, but just running on it like that's your big issue. The big issue, every election since Roe v. Wade has been overturned, has been about abortion. Democrats are winning in traditionally red states. Youngkin destroyed his chance at a Republican House and legislature in his state when he openly, the weekend before the election, said, yeah, if we get a Republican thing, we'll ban abortion. Like, duh, dude. You can't do, it's been proven. This is a thing that the Republicans are being bludgeoned over the head with. Double down on that. Go after that. Again, this is just ridiculous. I don't know why Democrats are being this stupid about it. But if they run, if this actually sinks in now, currently this is the House strategy. I think it's also a mistake. And this is what the Democrats in the House want the White House to do. I hope the White House ignores them. This is a loser issue. If Biden actually takes them up and makes Social Security the issue he wants to run on going into 2024, he is going to lose massively. I'm sorry. The youth vote don't care. Most people my age and younger, when I was in high school, I didn't expect Social Security to stick around. I saw the way things were going. I was like, I don't think this shit's going to be there. So most of us have never thought in a million years that this shit's actually going to be there for us. We're ready for it. If Republicans get in tomorrow and got away with it and destroyed Social Security, no one my age or younger would be shocked at all. Yeah, they've been running on that our entire lives. This is nothing new. So I think running on it is it's not a winning strategy. You need to emphasize the differences between you and Trump. And right now, Trump agrees with you on Social Security. Keep it. Like that's what he wants. Why would you run against somebody and again, why would you make that the number one issue for you? Hey everybody, me and the guy we're running against, we totally agree. So vote for me? Like, in what world does that work? I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. I hope the Biden White House completely and totally ignores it. Yeah, it's a bad idea.
And they have concluded that Vice President Harris is not capable. That when her IQ gets to 75, she should sell.
So in closing today, I just wanted to mention that the Kamala Harris thing is very real. The Republicans seem to get it, right? The Republicans know that the ageism thing is there, but they're recognizing that really the problem with the ageism has nothing to do with Biden and everything to do with his vice president. They are attacking Kamala Harris. They are using traditional, stereotypical bullshit racist things like, oh, she's not that smart and all that other stuff. But the point is like they're out there banging this drum that she's not that great. The problem is that most Democrats agree with them. Obviously they don't go very far. I don't think she's stupid by any stretch. She is an intelligent woman. She earned her position, whatever. I don't want her to be president. I'm sorry. I don't think she'll be great at it. I really don't. She could surprise me, but right now I'm like, I didn't see anything on the campaign trail that suggested she would be good. I mean, I'm sorry. And the way it was all done, from day one, I've been like, Biden picked you because he had to, not because he wanted to. I never got that sense. It seemed like it was forced on him the way Pence was forced on Trump, right? It was just like, you need this person or you're not going to win. And it's like, fuck, okay, fine. And who knows, maybe they get along fine, but that's not the perception right now. The perception is the vice president is unhappy with her position. She's unhappy with the way the White House has been treating her. Maybe there's some validity there. But the Republicans know the game. They know that the way to get after Biden is to go after Harris. So again, in my opinion, the Democrats need to shift gears. I think Biden needs to take a step back and run the campaign as if she was running for president. Make her the face of the campaign. So that way, the next time these idiot, lunatic, right-wing people want to call her stupid, you have her on all the Sunday talk shows, 24/7, on your TV, proving the opposite. Because the more you keep her behind, safe behind the gates, it's like anything. If you don't stand up for yourself, people are only going to hear one side of the story. And that one side of the story is going to seep in and become the truth. That's why it's necessary. So either you beef her up, you get her out in front of the cameras, you constantly drum that she is capable and willing and able totally to take over if the worst should happen. And if you don't, if the Biden administration truly is like, oh man, she's not ready, then you need to get her off the ticket sooner than later. Now, I mentioned yesterday about a backlash. There will be a backlash. And if she doesn't take it well, that's only going to feed into you making the right decision. Let's be honest. If Biden comes out, acknowledges you're not it, and announces a new vice president for 2024, and that Harris is off the ticket, and then she goes on a revenge tour, it's going to be so easy to be like, yeah, look, everybody, that's why we got rid of her. She's unstable. The attack ads against her are so easy and easy to dismiss any kind of thing. The smart move for her would be to smile, nod, be quiet, and do the job as vice president, and then get the fuck out. Build up your resume. You're still young. You have plenty of time to run for president again. This isn't a bad thing at all. It's not like she wouldn't win again if she ran in California. I don't know. To me, it just sounds like the Republicans know the game. Biden's old. Nobody trusts his vice president. Attack the vice president. It's that simple. Biden doesn't get it. The Democrats don't get it. They need to shift gears very quickly. I've already said what I think they should do. I don't think they're going to do it. Again, they are taking all the wrong lessons from every election. They always do. But the Republicans, I think this time around, like, they know the game. Go after Harris. Attack Harris. Don't attack Biden. We tried that last time. They did. They tried. It didn't work. Biden has one weakness. That is his age. That everyone acknowledges. Yes, he is old. Yes, he could drop at any minute. And the presidency does age you. So go after his vice president. As I said to a friend this morning, it was like, nobody cared about McCain's age. I mean, it was a long time ago, but in 2008, like, there were a lot of people like, man, McCain's really old, right? But nobody really cared until he picked Palin. And then Palin was unmasked as the idiot she was. And then all of a sudden it was like, ooh, I don't know. Like, no one cared about McCain's age until it was realized, like, oh, she could be president. No. That is not good, right? So, and I do believe that's going to happen with Trump. Like, unless Trump picks a really old guy, Giuliani, or a similar nitwit like Palin, nobody's going to care about his age. The same way I don't think anyone would care about Biden's age if he had a capable backup. That's what we're missing right now. So, beef her up or boot her out. Okay. So, that's my show for today. Thank you very much for watching, listening, however you're doing this. And Kat, say hello. If you heard any noise in the background, I got construction all around my neighborhood and kids who are home for the holidays. So, anyway, you guys have a great time. Have a great Thanksgiving. Travel safe. Get a booster shot if you can. And, well, depending on how things go tomorrow, we'll see you then.